Recently, Melissa Harris Perry was talking about the nature of online harassment and how she feels as though she is a victim of one. Now, when I originally read this headline, I thought, all right, come on, you are a public figure, of course you're going to get online harassment. But then she said something that kind of struck a nerve with me, and I wanted to know what you guys think about it. Let me read you her quote. "I'm at a point where I don't retweet anything that I really like because I fear that I would send all my haters, all of the harassment that comes to me, over to some person who doesn't deserve it." She also says, "It's literally quieting whatever little digital voice I would have otherwise had." So I think that she says something really interesting about Twitter specifically, because the online harassment is to be expected, right? So if you have YouTube videos up there, of course you're going to get really negative YouTube comments. It's just part of the game. But with something like Twitter, you have to deal with both sides of the coin. On one side, it's great. You get to interact with people that have constructive criticism, people that have good feedback for the show, people who, want to give you love and support, whatever. And then on the other side, you deal with people that are abusive and they're hateful. And when I think about my own behavior, I actually don't like Twitter. I hate Twitter. I have a Twitter account because I feel obligated to have one, right? But I feel as though it is a direct connection between me and the worst people on the planet.
Yes.
And so I try not to check it.
Yeah. Well, in a teeny tiny baby version of that, I actually just disabled having the tweets be sent to me like texts. Because, those can be really nice and they can also be super brutal. And it finally dawned on me after over a year. Wait, these strangers that I don't know that are telling me what an asshole I am and what a stupid bitch I am, it's like getting a text from my mom or getting a text from my friend. That shouldn't show up on my text in my personal life.
I can't believe you even enabled that feature. That sounds disastrous.
Someone did that for me right when it started. I was like, oh, that's cool. What could possibly go wrong?
No. I mean, it's just... And it's one thing if you get, a little bit of hate every day, just a little bit, right? But it's like a slow trickle throughout the day. You wake up in the morning, you check your Twitter account, and it's like the biggest crazy people on the planet.
Well, and it does something to your psyche. I know we talk about this a lot because it matters to us and we deal with it every day. But I agree when you said that it's not even about her at that point. It's about her supporters now that she feels like she has to protect. And so it's like, well, what's the point? You can't interact with people. You can't give people props and retweet them and say, hey, good point, whatever. So yeah, maybe Twitter's dead. I mean, maybe organize the occasional Arab Spring and then we all move on.
Maybe that's an interesting point.
Yeah, no, I like Twitter. Again, as a comedian for 25 years, I'm used to people saying mean shit to me right in my face. And so when it's online, it's cute. It's adorable, right? Like, oh, ouchie. And you just block them. You block them, get rid of them, block, get rid. And so her saying that, she's in the business of journalism. And somebody much smarter than me once said that journalism is when you're reporting something that someone doesn't want you to say. And if you're not pissing off someone with your journalism, you're not doing it right. So here's a woman afraid. I mean, your whole job is to piss off people. So you're not pissing off people and you're not doing your job. So that's, you know what I mean? Like,
I guess it all depends on...
You're a professional pisser offer.
Well, and it depends on what they're attacking her for.
Exactly. It depends on, first of all, your perception of what your role is in media, right? So that has something to do with it, but also what she gets attacked for. So for instance, the thing that drives me crazy is when there is a topic that is well researched, right? Like I've spent the entire day reading about it, cross-checking references, doing whatever I can to make sure that what I say is 100% accurate. And then the way YouTube is set up, I don't know why they did this. They did this to filter out the trolls, but now they've actually created a great platform for trolls.
Yes.
There'll be one person who completely makes something up about the story that's not true at all, and it'll get so many replies that it goes to the top of the comments section. So people will read that and they'll be like, wait, is what Anna's reporting, is Anna's reporting accurate? And it's like, yes, don't believe this guy.
And you, and because it's your page and your comments underneath, you gave them a stage.
Yes.
Essentially, which is not fair.
I know, it drives me insane.
Yeah, that's a real shitty thing that YouTube did.
Yeah.
I don't know, I have no idea why they feel a need to do that.
This was literally their effort at, drowning out the noise, but in an effort of doing so, they actually made the trolls more visible.
Yeah, you're amping up the troll. You're putting them at the tippy top of the list, dumb fuck. And they don't know this already? Of course they already know this and they haven't fixed it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Everybody has to be upset about that. It's not just you. It's not just anybody who puts a goddamn video up. The top comment's always a negative fucking thing.
Well, and then again, now we've talked about it a little bit on the other side of this, I think, because we don't have any specific examples of how she's been harassed.
Right.
So, depending on what it is, I mean, I'm not someone who, came out of the womb with the buffalo hide thick skin, but you learn to have it, and you learn to stop letting people, like Dave Rubin once said, I don't argue with eggs.
Right.
Like the little anonymous twit. I feel the same way. I appreciate if you like me and I appreciate if you hate me, but it doesn't change me either way because I don't know you. I don't owe you anything ultimately.
Yeah, it's a good point.
So it depends what they said to her because at this point it is like, is it that bad? And if it's that bad, then maybe you get Jimmy's buddies involved. Maybe you get the cops involved. And if it's harassment, if it's stalking, if it's threats, that goes to another level. But if it's not, fuck them.
Let me give you some stats on that, by the way. Pew Research, and by the way, one quick comment on blocking. I feel like every time I block someone, they've won in some way.
No.
Like they've gotten to me to a point where I've actually taken action against them. And that's the reason why I don't like blocking unless it's like, I have no choice. I have to do it, right?
I think you're making a mistake there. You're just setting yourself up for more shit. Block, 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 and you never think about it again. You never have to think about that person again, ever.
Yeah, that's
it's
a good
great.
point. All right, so Pew Research actually did a study on online harassment. They had respondents kind of answer survey questions, and here's what they found. 40% of Pew participants said they have experienced harassment on the internet in the form of offensive name-calling, stalking, sexual harassment, physical threats, embarrassment, and sustained harassment. But if you want to get a little more specific about the more severe harassment that takes place online, 26% of young women surveyed reported being stalked online, while 25% said that they had been sexually harassed on the internet.
Duh.
Yeah.
Only 25?
I know, that was actually kind of
Seems low.
surprising.
Yeah, very.
It does.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you should if you're that sick of Twitter, you should do what Ann Coulter did. She went on Twitter, which is a little more. That's right for her. It's more.
That was right for her. I'm
Yeah.
not so sure if it's right for me. But